Hello, my name is Hannah Milks, and today I'm reviewing the book Brain Rules by John Medina. The book was pretty simple, easy to follow. It just was based on the 12 rules. And the 12 rules are 1. Survival, 2. Exercise, 3. Sleep, 4. Stress, 5. Wiring, 6. Attention, 7. Memory, 8. Sensory integration, 9. Vision, 10. Music, 11 gender, and 12 exploration. Some of them are very self-explanatory, like survival. Like you have to have enough food to learn, and you have to have enough food to function to do everything else. And this reminds me a lot of Maslow's hierarchy of learning. So the first one that I would kind of like to go in depth for is exercise. And something really interesting is that exercise not only releases endorphins in your brain, which makes you feel better, it also increases your problem solving skills and planning. Also, it decreases your chances of Alzheimer's by 50%. So, exercising is super important, and I think we all need to do a little bit more of it. The next interesting one is stress, and this really stuck out to me because I'm doing a lesson with my 4th graders on Friday about stress and how to properly deal with it, because everyone has stress no matter how old you are. So I thought it was really interesting that he talked about self-regulating, and that's what I'm about to talk about. So that was cool. Attention. This one, Miss Taylor, my EIP teacher, has talked about before, and it just really like hits home how our education system is really doesn't really work with how our brains are set up. And this said that our attention span is really only 10 minutes long, and we have to have an emotional connection to whatever we're learning. So our like 45-minute class periods, we would need to have a new emotional tie to whatever we're learning 4 times, and that does not happen, like in the high school especially, but even in the elementary school, that never happens. Also, they talked about multitasking, and he calls it task switching, which I thought was really interesting because you really can't multitask. And this, I feel like, applies to my life and my learning a lot, because when you get so much to do, it is task switching because you can't do it all with all of your effort at once. So I thought that was interesting. The next one is memory, and he talked about how some of it is automatic, and that ties in to the emotional attention span. Like, if it has a really strong emotional tie to you, you're more likely to just automatically remember it, like the term automatic implies. And then the other kind is effortful, and effortful memory requires lots and lots of repetition. And so that's why things like flashcards work, and if you don't go over things enough, you don't really know them like on a test. So I thought that was interesting. My favorite thing that he highlighted is sensory integration, and how if you have to use more than one sense, you will remember it better. So if you can touch it and see it, then you're way more likely to remember it. And I think especially with kids, you can make learning so much more fun if you use sensory integration. Another really interesting thing is he talked about the learning differences of genders, and what I got from it is that girls are just naturally smarter, but I don't really think that's what you're supposed to get from it. But X chromosomes are a lot bigger, and they have more proteins in them. In fact, 45 times more proteins in them. So that's why girls are better. So some things that Miss Jellison does that John Medina talked about in his book are she does a lot of repetition. Which you're gonna have to, like I know, they'll learn about how many feet are in a yard, and then in the hallway we'll go over them with flashcards and worksheets and just go over and over it until they remember it. And also she does that like with sensory integration. She has a lot of visual cues around her room, like they make lots of posters, and I think that just makes the classroom look nice, and it's a helpful reminder. Something my high school teachers have done is my Spanish teacher freshman year, Senora Jacobs, we did a lot of repetition with like vocab, and then she also put a picture with it, which was really nice. And then also high school teachers still do like posters around the room. So there's really not that much difference between an elementary school level and a high school level of how you apply these things. Just in a high school setting, it's a lot more complex information. Personally, if I were a teacher, what I would try to add is a lot more of the sensory integration, just because, like I said earlier, it's just more fun. It's fun to like build things and touch things and see things and experience things. And I think that also ties into some of your more emotional feelings that helps you learn better too. So overall, it was pretty to the point and easy to read, and I really enjoyed it.